Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by thick forests and wide rivers, there lived a young girl named Ezinne. Ezinne was born with a very unusual appearance. Her skin was white, not like anyone else in the village. She had very large ears and a big nose that made people stare and laugh at her wherever she went. Ezinne was an albino, and while others might have had smooth, dark skin, her skin looked pale and different. This made her sad. But what made her even sadder was that she had no parents to comfort her. She had no one to love or care for her. So she often found herself sitting by the river, crying and wondering why she was different from everyone else. Ezinne cried almost every night because of the way people treated her. They would point at her and call her names, mocking her large ears and big nose. Look at that girl. She looks like a ghost with those big ears. And that nose. Who could ever love her? They would say. Their words hurt Ezinne deeply, and she would run to the river and she would sit by the riverside, gazing at her reflection, wishing she looked like everyone else. Why did I have to be born this way? She asked herself. Why does no one love me? She don't have any friends, and no man ever showed her love. When men came close, it was only to take advantage of her, leaving her broken-hearted and even more alone. Ezinne wanted to make a better life for herself, so she tried many businesses to earn a living. She tried selling fruits, she tried sewing clothes, but nothing worked. People were scared of her. They don't want to buy anything from someone who looks like her. Every time she set up her stand in the market, people would pass without looking at her. Finally, she decided to sell fufu, a popular food in the village. She worked hard, preparing the fufu every morning, making sure it was soft and neat. But when she went to the market, people whispered behind her back, "Don't buy from her," they would say. "You don't know what kind of evil she carries." Her business failed once again. One evening, after a long tiring day in the market, Ezinne cried and fell asleep. She was exhausted from all the pain and rejection she faced. That night, she had the most incredible dream. In the dream, she found herself standing on the shore of a sparkling blue sea. The sky was bright and the wind blew gently against her skin. She felt peacefully, something she hadn't felt in a long time. Suddenly, a figure appeared before her. It was a prince, tall and handsome, dressed in a royal robes made of silver and gold. His smile was warm, and his eyes glowed like stars. He reached out his hand and said, "Come with me, Ezinne. You are beautiful. I want you to be my wife." Before Ezinne could respond, she found herself in a beautiful underwater palace. She was wearing the most expensive and shiny wedding gown she had ever seen. The entire marine kingdom was celebrating her wedding. There were musicians, dancers, and feasts of food she had never imagined. The wedding was more beautiful than any dream she had ever had, and for the first time in her life, Ezinne felt truly happy. But just as she was about to marry the prince, a dark shadow fell over the palace. A jealous marine princess named Zina appeared. Zina had been in love with the prince for many years and could not stand the thought of a woman, especially one as strange looking as Ezinne, marrying him. Zina's eyes blazed with anger and she stormed towards Ezinne, her voice filled with fury. "How dare you come into my kingdom and try to steal the prince from me? You are nothing but an ugly, unwanted girl. I will not let you have him," Zina screamed. Suddenly, the dream vanished, and she found herself back in her small lonely room. It had all been just a dream. Ezinne sat up in bed, confused and upset. Why must I dream of happiness I can never have? Who is that woman who was warning me? But something felt different that morning. It was as if the dream had unlocked something deep within her, something powerful. As the days passed, strange things started happening to Ezinne. She began to hear a voice. It was the voice of the princess Zina. Zina had always believed that the prince belonged to her, and she hated the idea of anyone, especially a woman like Ezinne, being with him. One hot afternoon, while Ezinne was walking through the village, she heard Zina's voice for the first time. "You think you deserve him? You think you can wear the crown and marry the prince? You will never be good enough." Ezinne looked around, but no one was there. "Who is speaking to me?" she asked, her voice trembling. But there was no answer, only the sound of the villagers laughing at her as she walked by. From that day, Zina began to torment Ezinne. She appeared in Ezinne's dreams every night, tormenting her and threatening her. Ezinne would wake up sweating and frightened, but she couldn't tell anyone. They already thought she was strange, and no one would believe her. One day, as Ezinne walked to the river to fetch water, she saw Zina in the water's reflection. She was tall, with long flowing hair and glowing eyes, but there was something evil about her. Zina smiled wickedly and said, "I will destroy you. You will never be happy, and you will never marry the prince." Ezinne tried to ignore her, but Zina wouldn't leave her alone. She followed Ezinne everywhere. Sometimes, Ezinne would be seen walking through the village arguing with Zina, but the villagers couldn't see the princess. They only saw Ezinne talking to herself and laughing madly. They mocked her even more, calling her the crazy albino. The torment became worse. Zina would appear at night, pulling Ezinne's hair, slapping her, and whispering evil words in her ear. "You are ugly," she would say. "No one will ever love you." One day, Ezinne had enough. She screamed into the night, "Leave me alone. I will not let you destroy me." To her surprise, Zina appeared in her room laughing. "You think you can fight me?" she sneered. "You are nothing but a weak woman." Ezinne, despite being scared, stood her ground. "I may be different, but I'm not weak," she said. "I will fight you and I will win." Zina, filled with rage, challenged Ezinne to a battle that would take place both in the spirit world and in the physical world. Every night, Ezinne fought Zina in her dreams. The battles were fierce, with Zina using dark magic to try and defeat her. Sometimes, they would fight in the middle of the village road, and people would laugh at Ezinne, thinking she was fighting with the air. But Ezinne did not give up. She knew that if she could defeat Zina, she could free herself from the torment. Days turned into weeks, and the battles continued. Ezinne was growing tired, but she refused to lose. One night, during their battle, Zina threw Ezinne into the deep ocean, trying to drown her. But in the water, something magical happened. The prince of the kingdom appeared. He had been watching the battles from afar, and he saw how brave and strong Ezinne was. He pulled her from the water and said, "You have proven yourself. You are strong, not because of how you look, but because of who you are inside." With the prince's help, Ezinne finally defeated Zina. The jealous princess screamed in rage as she was banished to the darkest part of the ocean, never to return. The prince looked at Ezinne and said, "You deserve love and you deserve happiness." But Ezinne knew she couldn't stay in the marine kingdom. She had to return to her world. When she woke up, she found herself back in her small room, but she felt different. She no longer cared about what people said about her. She had fought a powerful battle and won, and that made her stronger than any mockery or insult. From that day on, Ezinne walked with her head held high. The villagers still laughed at her, but it did not bother her anymore. She knew her worth, and she knew that no one could take that away from her. In the end, Ezinne learned a valuable lesson. True strength comes from within, and no matter what people say or how you look, you are worthy of love and happiness. And so, Ezinne lived her life with pride, knowing that she had defeated not only an evil princess Zina, but also the harsh words of those around her. And though she never married the prince in real life, she had found something even more important: self-love. The lesson Ezinne learned was clear. No matter how much people mock or reject you, You must never lose faith in yourself. The battle for happiness is not easy, but with courage and determination, even the darkest days can pass. And so, Ezinne's life changed for the better. She was no longer the girl who cried because of her appearance. She had faced the evil in her life and won. And though she never saw the marine prince again, she knew that she don't need a dream to feel worthy. She had found her strength within herself. Moral lesson: we should never judge people by their appearance. True strength and beauty come from within, and we all deserve love and respect. The end. Thank you guys for watching my stories, and please come back for more interesting stories. I love you.